Yeah. Just the O.G to the E, trying to make some money. Yo, motherfuckers better buy things off me. The shells, the fucking couriers, the fees, the glees, the me's. I cannot handle this shit, but I stay with it. Even though I got a side job that makes me other money. That's how I do it. This is the podcast world of the O.G to the E SFS podcast. As you can hear, AZ in the background. Now, AZ is a good rapper, don't get me wrong. He is a brilliant rapper. He's one of Naz's guys. He's AZ, he's one of my favourite rappers. He's on a third track on Illmatic, Life's a Bitch and Then You Die. And he's on some other ones as well. Yeah, he's one of my greatest rappers from the East. On the feast of the keist of the neast of the beast of the deast of the feast. If you make money, you'll get more power, make more money, have more bitches. Have more bitches, lose more money. That's what you gotta do. That's all I say. Make the money and then just fuck it off away. That's all I say. Yeah, I was just listening to Prodigy's last album, and it's very, if you listen to his lyrics in there, they're explaining about the Illuminati, and I believe that Prodigy might have been a target for the Illuminati, and he could have been killed by them. Same way that John Lennon did in the early 70s, it was, when he spoke up against the Vietnam War and the acid and all that. He did the White Album, and then that was all fucked up when he was all fucked up on the acid when he did the classic White Album. Then he did a couple, but then he was speaking out against the Vietnam War, and then and acid, as soon as that happened, he got shot. I think a little guy was used, like, say, Oswald was used for JFK. So, they were assassinated by Illuminati. I don't know about Michael Jackson, but he was already assassinated anyway for being labelled a paedophile. So he was definitely a target in the Illuminati. Not after his first couple of albums he weren't. It was after that 1991 album. Not the one after Bad. What's it called again? The double disc album. It came out in the early 90s. It's a political album. I forgot what it's called. It's not Bad, it's not Thriller, it's not Off the Wall. It's just after that one. And he's still popular. But he's rapping, it's the song where about the world, heal the world and all that song. Make the world a better place and all that. The songs that he weren't doing before, he was doing just pop songs, and after that, that's when he got targeted. Basically, even though he was a weird motherfucker, they just used that basically to target him, destroy his career, which they did. Really, because after his fourth album, he did that tour in the mid-90s, and then after that, he basically went ghost. And everyone was accusing him of being a paedophile and all that bullshit. Everyone was, on him. And then, just as he's coming back after like 15 years, really, just come back for a tour, he's dead. So that kind of raises suspicion. Yeah, loads of rappers are targeted by Illuminati. Rappers that are dead, Pac and Biggie definitely. Illuminati targeted them. Jam Master Jay probably got targeted. I get targeted by Illuminati a lot. Quite a few people do. Anyone that goes outside their system, you will get targeted. The ones today that get targeted seem to be like Prodigy and people like Dead Prez and Immortal Technique and stuff like that. But they're like not very big. Prodigy was big, but Dead Prez and Immortal Technique are more less mainstream, so they're not gonna proper target them. But Prodigy, he was saying some real fucked up shit on that in his last album, Dialect. And I was listening to the whole lyrics and it was all adding up to me. All ancient Egypt and all that, and all the, not falling victim to the trap. And that's everything. That's in everything. It's a black thing, a white thing, a Spanish thing, a Chinese thing, Korean thing, whatever it is. He's not falling victim to the trap. Basically. I think Eminem was targeted a little bit by the Illuminati as well. As well as 50 Cent, he was targeted. Quite a few people. Don't know about Bob Marley or Jimi Hendrix. I think Jimi Hendrix died from an overdose and Bob Marley died with cancer, which you can because he smoked all the ganja. A lot of them do get targeted. Prodigy definitely got targeted by the Illuminati. He was saying some shit. If you've seen his interviews, he was saying a lot of shit that was true about it. Same with other people getting targeted by it, like the Silent Rebels and the Happy Mondays, some other groups, some Oasis guys got targeted by the Illuminati. Oasis from Manchester, and that's why they censored my shit. Urban Knights, another rap group, they're not allowed to. Their music could be mainstream if it weren't for the Illuminati stopping it and saying we don't want this out there, because they're rapping about real stuff that goes on in our city. And then you've got me. Well, I'm not a rapper, but still they are targeting me because they threw my shit off the thing, and because I shot Donald Trump and Theresa May and the Queen, put pictures of them up on the wall and blasted them with my Colt 47. So that goes off. I'm glad I did it, because that's what SFS is. It's against the Illuminati and anyone who stands up against it. It's all in my book. People that stand up against it, you should know. John Dillinger, he's the guy who stood up against it and was successful by robbing the banks. Hail up to John Dillinger. Castro, Kennedy stood up to it. So many others that do. Fidel Castro, he stood up to it. Fidel Castro and Kennedy were changing the banking system, and that's why Kennedy got assassinated. Not by Oswald, by a mafia shooter that did it. The mafia, all these black people talking about mafia, basically mafioso this, mafioso that. Don't you know that they're the same oppressors that were oppressing your neighbourhoods for years? That's what the Mafia are doing. The Mafia are part of the Illuminati. The Illuminati made the Mafia go on until they had no reason for them. And then when Reagan's administration came in, they said, oh, we've got no reason for the Mafia now. Let's put a RICO whack and target them all. That's how the Mafia split up. But before then, J. Edgar Hoover and all that was covering up for the Mafia. That's why it was so successful and so underground. When you had John Gotti and others, when the RICO Act came out and people started getting arrested because they had no use for them anymore because of having new laws and the other people that they wanted to do the dirt for them, basically. It's all one big fix. Anyway, we're going into Brooklyn's most dangerous criminals. Vito Lopez, 83. He's the most Democratic Party kingpin. Supporters say Vito Joseph Lopez did plenty of good for his Brooklyn community as a member of the New York State Assembly and chairman of the powerful Democratic Party of Kings County. They will remind you Lopez pushed through on affordable housing and helped expand community services that made a dramatic impact on the people of Bushwick, a long underserved section of Brooklyn. Yet the legacy of Vito Lopez is marred by a series of high-profile scandals that toppled the powerful Brooklyn Politico, rocked by charges of sexual harassment and corruption. From the streets of Bushwick to the halls of New York State Capitol in Albany, Lopez ruled with a firm hand. It is true. Oh, it's true. He created hundreds of units of affordable housing and pushed back some of the urban blight plaguing Bushwick. First elected in 1985, Lopez rose to a number of senior posts, including the powerful chairmanship of New York State Assembly Housing Committee. Lopez, though, was not toppled by a single indiscretion. The charges of pattern of sexual harassment. The lawmaker from Brooklyn saw the writings on the logistic wall, resigning in the wake of New York State ethics investigation that identified no less than 8 victims, including young staffers he preyed upon. What a fucking pedophilic fucking thick fucking fiddle fucking little kitty fiddling fucking pedophile motherfucker. During the investigation, a backroom deal came to light where New York State Assembly paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in hush money to quiet Lopez's accusers. These were taxpayers' dollars quietly funneled to cover up Lopez's crimes of pedophilia. Indiscretions he publicly denied. The payoffs were approved by none other than Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver. Another corrupt Albany politician was sentenced to more than a decade in prison in 2016 on unrelated charges. By 2012, Lopez, the Brooklyn's Democratic leader since 2006, opted to seek another run for the post. The following year, a New York State Ethics Commission published a report intimizing his actions, sexually harassing the young woman. In one disgusting passage, Lopez instructed one staffer to fill the tumors on his neck following months of withering media coverage. Fined $330,000 and facing expulsion from New York State Assembly, Lopez resigned in disgrace. His reputation shredded, Lopez attempted a political comeback but failed to even muster enough support to swing a New York council seat because of his pedophilic past. Within 2 years, the low-life pedophile motherfucker was dead. On November 9th, 2015, broken and disgraced and succumbing to leukemia and probably someone needed to chop his dick off so he couldn't use it, because he didn't need to use it, because his dick was only for one thing, and that was for abusing little kiddies. Oh, you fucking pedo, man. Lopez, probably traumatized of his paedophile actions, lured into the night approximately at 10 p.m. Memorial Hospital and committed suicide in Manhattan. Oh well. Serves you right for being a pedo, doesn't it? Maybe someone cut off your dick so you couldn't use it anymore, eh? What's the use if you're not going to use it properly? Now, 82. Thomas Farland, the sex killer of Brooklyn. Another sex crime. Dangerous motherfucker. The early morning hours of April Fool's Day in 1935, the body of Nora Kelly was discovered by her tenants in two-story Brooklyn home on Marin Avenue at the edge of Bay Ridge. Patrick Murray, Kelly's boarder, returned home from his work as subway conductor on Brooklyn-Manhattan transit lines investigating the howls of Kelly's dog. Murray discovered that the elderly widow hanged from a rafter in the ceiling of the building. Murray fled the home and brought back Brooklyn Beat cops patrolling nearby. Investigators were puzzled as why Miss Kelly took her own life. Though struggling financially, friends and family said she did not seem suicidal. She received £30 a month in rent from Murray. Combined with financial support from a granddaughter, she made ends meet, if barely. Miss Kelly was particularly close to this granddaughter, Florence McVeigh, a living maid employed within walking distance in home of Fort Hamilton Parkway. As dawn broke, the investigators combed the crime scene. Suicide seemed less likely by this moment. Now the plot thickens. As police moved through the homes searching for clues, they found a cold, lifeless body of 18-year-old McVeigh. Her granddaughter, curiously, investigators estimated the timeline of which both deaths occurred to be with Patrick Murray's wife. Helen was at home with their young daughter, but upon questioning, Miss Murray swore that she could not recall anything unusual, nor had Miss Kelly's dog made a ruckus. "Yeah, bring the ruckus, we're gonna bring the motherfucking ruckus," until long after the deaths supposedly occurred. Very unusual circumstances indeed, with no evidence to indicate foul play other than just two dead bodies, more dead bodies. The intel suspicion was that Kelly hanged herself and McVeigh died of natural causes, but that's a bit far-fetched for investigators, and if I weren't an investigator, I wouldn't believe that bullshit either. Maybe McVeigh died from shock upon discovering the body of her dead grandmother, or perhaps Kelly killed herself to overcome in a fit of grief over discovering her lifeless, beloved granddaughter. Well, this is interesting. Still, no wailing or disturbance had been heard by nearby tenants. Suicide was ruled out of the coroner's report came back as King County morgue. McVeigh had been sexually assaulted. Right, now there's a crime involved. The cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation. AZPHYZIATION. I can't pronounce words. My speech impediment is a little fucked up. Due to deprivation of oxygen from smothering. A double murder mystery was afoot, stirred with a side order of sexual assaults. Forensic specialists ascertained that Miss Kelly was dead well before someone wrapped up a noose around her neck and hoisted her up in an attempt to disguise her murder. Detectives interrogated neighbours, family and friends of two victims canvassing on the Bay Ridge area near the crime scene. While the sensational news now hit the local media, The internal investigation led to a few suspects until Eleanor Mayaz, a friend of Miss Kelly, walked into the local police station to volunteer information. Mayaz revealed that she visited the scene of the crime around 9 p.m. on the evening of the murders. Receiving no answer, Mayaz was turning to leave when Miss Kelly's door flew open. Out stumbled Thomas McFarland, Mrs. Kelly's son-in-law, husband to her deceased daughter Anna, and father to 3 grandchildren. McFarland was on the list of family members for police to interview, though they'd yet to speak with him. Married in Bayridge St. Patrick Church, the couple had 3 children. Wife Anna died giving birth to their twins. Miss Kelly raised the children for a time, but as of late, McFarland had moved to a rental on Humboldt Street with her mother's brood. McFarland had to know something investigated, Sumest. Intensifying their search, police tracked him down to a vanished factory where he worked in Long Island City and took him in for questioning, but it was a bit more than 12 hours since the bodies were discovered. Arresting officers noted flecks of what appeared to be blood on the suit of McFarland was wearing. During questioning, McFarland revealed that after dining with his daughters that evening before the murders, he headed to the home of Miss Kelly. He stopped off at saloons in Brooklyn before taking a train to 95th Street Station. He then walked the rest of the way to Miss Kelly's home for a visit, where he met her and McVeigh just after sundown. By then, McFarland was pissed, fucked off his head off whiskey. He freely admitted to the police in the presence of Miss Kelly he continued to drink a bottle of sherry. I used to drink sherry. I used to drink my grandma's sherry. That he purchased. I never purchased it. My gran just gave it me. Much to consternation of his former mother-in-law, an argument ensued. The frightened McFarland then claimed to police that he must have blacked out. I guess I must have blacked out again. Not again. Too many bodies at McDonald's in. I guess I must have blacked out again. Wake up naked at McDonald's when. Guess I just must have blacked out again. Not again. Is that what he's saying? He listened to 3 a.m. in the morning. However, he may said, I blacked out. I may have choked Miss Kelly, and then he may have choked McVeigh when she came into the room, feeling she was going to grab a knife that was on the table. Oh God. McFarland also mentioned it was probably a mistake to answer the doorbell when Miss Mayers came calling. McFarland was indicted for the murders and held over a sensational trial the following year. During the court's proceeding, McFarland's attorneys mounted what today would be akin to post-traumatic stress disorder, claiming the defendant that was tried for murder suffered from psychological damage related to his service in the World War I. Well, you're not strong enough then, because my granddad fought in the World War I, and he killed a lot of people. He was on front line, he never suffered anything. He actually enjoyed it. He actually wanted to go back to war. What he did, some of the families gone to war. What they do is they go into the hunt a lot and shoot guns a lot because they miss the action that the war gave them. Some people get traumatised by it. Obviously this murdering motherfucker was traumatised by it. The jury found the defence in 1933. They found McFarland guilty of first-degree murder on related charges. The judge sentenced him to the death penalty to go straight to Sparky. He went straight to the Sparky at death row. Sing, sing, sing. Here we go to Sparky. Electric chopstick ring. Woo! electrified and demolished. Right. 81. Ismail Abdullah Blinzi, cop killer. Yes, a cop killer. This is a good one. Number 81. Crimes in Brooklyn. In the winter of 2014, tensions ran high in minority communities throughout America following the incidents where African American men were killed by police officers in several U.S. cities, including Eric Garner, Staten Island, Michael Brown, Missouri, and Freddie Gray, Baltimore. Controversy over the use of police within minority communities is not a new phenomenon in America. Through 2014, it seemed like a flashpoint. News stations nationwide ran troubling images of chaotic protest marches erupted into violence. Ismail Abdullah Blinzi, a troubled 28 Baltimore resident originally from Brooklyn, was furious at the cascade of coverage and became bent on taking action. Don't blame him. We don't know what sent Bludley off on a bloody rampage. I do know. He hated police. When he was done, he turned his gun on himself, like Ramon. Should have just run away, skip country, I would. But not before perpetrating the cowardly sneak assassination of two New York. Why you say cowardly? How's it that cowardly? I'll call that actually having guts. Obviously, the guy feels oppressed by police beating on him all the time, which I stick up for these people, African Americans that get beat up by police. There's no good. It's just fueling a race war. It's fueling them to hate. Even though lots of police officers are black, it's fueling them to hate white people even more by police officers doing this. So they deserve what they get. And that's from a white person, me. I've been beat up by police before, 14 of them. Myself, I told you. 14 of them headbutted me, kicked me, beat me all over the place. But yeah, that's not cowardly, man. Good on him. Getting back at these motherfuckers. The police actually do shoot them for no reason. And it's absolutely fucking... It really does. It is. I've got to say this. That's horrific what they do. How can you just do that? You know. So I can understand the rage that a lot of, especially black people, have towards the police. I have rage towards the police, and I don't condone it. And what they're doing is they're starting things. For black people to rise up and hate white people. Same with the KKK. I don't agree in any of them, and I don't agree with the black people rising up trying to hurt white people, because what they need to do really is rise up against the establishment and other things and stop this race bullshit, because it's nothing to do with race, it's to do with the police doing that shit. And there are racists out there, and they need to be dealt with. Racism is forbidden. I'm sick of hearing about it. I don't like the term of racism. So, New York was simmering in rage as just weeks prior to the Brimsley shooting, a grand jury declined it and indict NYPD officer Daniel Palito for a chokehold he placed on Eric Garner in Staten Island. Many police have killed people by doing that, using their methods. Garner had been peddling street-side single-sale loosely cigarettes not far from Staten Island. So he's just peddling cigarettes, basically. When he resisted arrest, collapsing on Patel's illegal chokehold. That was to kill him. That was first-degree murder. I don't care what you say. That's how they do it. They've done that loads of times. Killed people loads of times with them illegal chokeholds. The police. When news of the grand jury decision hit the street, it sparked days of protest of New York, including a storm of Brooklyn Bridge. Meanwhile, down in Ferguson, Missouri, a similar scenario played out. A grand jury declined to indict Darren Wilson, a police officer who shot and killed Michael Brown. That decision also ignited days of unrest. Born in 1986 in Brooklyn into a Muslim African-American family, Brinsley was a lost soul by the time he was a young man. On December 20th, 2014, Brinsley left Owings Mills, Maryland, on the outskirts of Baltimore, boarded a bus bound for New York City. Early in the day, he was talked out of committing suicide by Shanika Nicole Thompson, his ex-girlfriend. Following an argument, Brinsley then shot and wounded Thompson before fleeing. She survived. As he headed to New York, Brinsley posted a disturbing message on Instagram indicting that he intended to kill police officers to avenge the death of Garner and Brown. I want winks on the piggies today. Take one of ours, let's take two of theirs. Well said, but I think this guy is a bit crazy anyway, so he would have done it probably if the police hadn't shot him or not. Some people are just crazy, like I said. So I don't think it was for justice. I think he's crazy. He wanted to shoot somebody, whether it was himself or anybody. So this guy was crazy. The Baltimore Police Department were already investigating Brinsley and sent a fax to its law enforcement counterpart in New York. The message did not avert the tragedy. When Brinsley hit New York, he made his way to Brooklyn. Brinsley followed his fate to the busy intersection of Merritt and Tompkins Avenue in Bedford-Stuyvesant, where he came across a NYPD cruiser just idling at the corner. Inside the vehicle sat Wen Jan Liu and Rafael Ramos, two police officers assigned to nearby 84th Precinct. Brinsley drew his semi-automatic weapon, snuck up on the patrol car, and boom, boom, opened fire, striking the officers with multiple rounds to their heads and torsos, killing them both. Passers-by alerted police patrolling nearby, and a foot chase ensued. Brinsley fled into the Milter-Wilbury Avenue subway, where he was cornered. Then he committed suicide. 'Cause they never take me alive, I'm getting high with my 4-5. 'Cause I'd rather die and be a convict. Artillery rounds on my target. I'd rather die than go to jail. I'd rather die and be a convict. They never take me alive, I'm getting high with my 4-5. That's probably guy was thinking. The only son of Chinese immigrants, Wen Jianlu, a 7-year veteran of the NYPD, who was married with his sweetheart 2 months prior to his murder. During Louis' wake at Ralph Ifalo, a son's funeral in Dyker Heights, Brooklyn's police officers turned their back on a screen playing while Major Bill de Blasio expressed his condolences in response to ongoing enmity between the mayor and the police union. When Louis left behind no children, his partner, Rafael Ramos, was survived by his grieving widow and 2 sons. The Silver Shield Foundation, a charity founded by New York Yankees owner George Steinbrenner. Piggy, you're a piggy, you're a rich fucking piggy, you should get killed too, announced a pledge to pay for the college education of younger Ramos' boy, while Baldwin College kicked in full financial support to the elder son, who was already enrolled as a sophomore. Don't know what that means. Days later, on December 27th, the funeral service for Ramos was to be the largest in New York City's history, attended by more than 100,000 mourners broadcast around the world. The same news cycles as ongoing protests. The funeral was divided as a counterbalance to scenes of angry marches. Many of the police in attendance at Ramos' funeral also turned their backs on Mayor de Blasio as he then again spoke, this time in person. At the time of the shooting, Brinsley was estranged from his family and friends, a career criminal with 90 arrests ranging from armed robbery to criminal possession of a weapon. Brinsley supposedly had ties to the Black guerrilla family. The lynch mob! The guerrillas in the mist! Boom, boom, welcome within. Lynch mob! Guerrillas in the mist. A prison gang, an affiliation that's feared by even the media. The conspiracy theory that the gang orchestrated the Brooklyn killings as revenge for the earlier police shootings was never confirmed. I don't think that's what happened. I think that guy was mad. Quite deranged person. But he thought someone would have shot him anyway. But I think he did it because he wanted to shoot somebody because he was suicidal at the time. So in the weeks that followed, politicians, pundits and personalities across the country chimed in on Brooklyn's police murders. Salting wounds to this day have yet to heal. Yet back in Brooklyn, the true heartbreak lay with the families captured so painfully by Ramos' son, Jaden, in his post on Facebook. Today, I had to say bye to my father. He was there for me every day of my life. He was the best father I could ask for. It's horrible that someone gets shot dead for being a police officer. Everyone says they hate cops, but they are people, and they call for help. I will always love you. I will never forget you. R.I.P. Daddy. Burn in hell, Daddy. It says burn in hell, Brinsley, but I just thought that. Yeah, the police, they fucking... Point is about police, not all police are bad. I've met a lot, been arrested a lot of times myself, and a lot of police are alright. One police officer when arrested me and giving me money because I got arrested in Wales, and giving me money to go back on the train and bought me a Subway on the way home. And well, that shows how the Welsh police are nice, because when I was in the cell, they give me anything. They give me hot chocolate, they give me meals, and then cause I couldn't get home because I had no money, he gave me money out of his own pocket, and because he understood the situation that I was in. I'm not going to go into details of the crime I got arrested for, because it was a domestic one. Yeah, he gave me, police officer gave me money to get home, basically. And even though I had a bloody train ticket to get home, so I spent that money on fucking whiskey. But not all police officers are bad, but I have been beaten up by 14 of them. A lot of them are cocky bastards who think they can do whatever they fucking want. Power hungry motherfuckers. They think because they've just got a uniform on, they can have power over you. And guess what? You don't have the power anymore over me. I said straight up to a police officer, you want to go one-on-one now? We'll go. And then he's got his people with him. I've seen a police officer though. I lived at my hostels. One just annoying bastard. Police officer said, "Why are you giving us all shit? No, you police officer, go outside. Me and you have it one-on-one then. If you think you're hard." So I respected that police officer, and I just stood silent, because that's what I do. If a police officer comes, I don't try and fight him, because you can't win. I just stay silent and don't beat the doors anymore. I don't do that shit. I haven't been arrested in ages. But I just, you can't win. The only way to win or do is if you run away or just be calm and rough it, Don't try and fight him because you won't win, basically. That's all I can say, is you cannot win.